Hello, YouTube. This is Ryan, aka the Habitual Line Stepper, coming back at you with another video. I hope this video finds you well. I hope you're at peace. If you're not at peace, I hope you're actively, aggressively, and relentlessly pursuing your peace. I want to say today that you should bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. Don't put your life in the hands of someone else. Don't put major decisions in the hands of someone else. You have to actively, aggressively take control of your life and bet on yourself. Work on yourself. But you have to put yourself first. In the decisions that you make, you have to think about how this is going to impact you first. Now, some people may call this selfish, and it is selfish. However, no one else is looking out for you the way you're going to look out for you. So you have to push your chips to the center of the table and bet on yourself. Now, I'm not saying, don't do a self-assessment. Definitely work on areas of your life that you need to improve. Be it your character, be it your finances, be it your health, be it your social capital. Work on those things. Develop yourself. I told you in previous videos, you're continuous work. You want to improve on things. You're never going to stop improving on yourself. You're never going to stop working on yourself until you have taken your last breath. But as you're doing those things, as you are improving your life, improving, the way you think, the way you live, your social equity, you're going to find out that the things that you have done, you're going to have confidence knowing that the decisions that you have made are going to be in your best interest. And if you're working on yourself, it's going to be on the best interest of others. They may not see it at the time, and they may give you some blowback. But you have to be confident and sure in the decisions that you made, that you have no problem betting on yourself and taking that risk on yourself. Again, when you have gone through life and you've consciously made a decision to work on yourself and do those things, you will build a history to refer to. That, hey, I have a history of making good decisions. That's what you're going to look at, And when tasked, I make good decisions for other people. Or at least I try to put people in the best scenario possible if they're asking for my help, or if they're unable to ask for my help, but I can offer this as a solution. I'm not doing it with any ill intent, or I'm trying to gain something from it. I'm genuinely trying to help. When you have built that kind of history, you will learn that, hey, the decision I make is the best decision I could possibly come up with. And sometimes it's two hard decisions. One's not necessarily better than the other, but they're both hard decisions. Your history will let you know, hey, okay, I had to make a decision here. And I'm going to bet, and the decision I made, I'm confident in this decision. If you allow people outside of yourself to make life-changing decisions for you, you are in for a tough ride. Because in my experience, generally, people make horrible decisions for themselves. They create an environment where they can't grow. They create an environment where they can't learn. An environment where they don't have any peace. In any sense of the word. And these are the people who you're going to allow to influence you in terms of what you do for yourself. You have to look at the body of work. You have to look at people for what they are. Don't fantasize in terms of or romanticize what this person is. Look and see what they actually have, what they've done with their lives. Like I said, and sometimes it's not with malice. Sometimes people genuinely trying to help you, but you still have to take a realistic look at who's offering the help. What is their motivation? When I make videos, this isn't just, for you guys. I'm talking to me too. This is for me to refortify my line of thinking and the way I do things. Because I don't want just anybody telling me, giving me advice and telling me what to do. I've never been the kind of blindly go along with things like that. Anyway, you're gonna have to show me something. You're gonna have to show me something. I can't take your word, especially if it's a word over mine. Yeah, you're gonna have to show me something. I'm all for adjusting my answer or adjusting my solution. If it's based on if somebody's giving me actual concrete facts that basically counters what I'm trying to do, and hey, this is how it is. I'm willing to adjust. Don't allow your ego to mess you up and not listen to logic. However, the people who are giving you advice and people who are telling you what to do with your life, they better bear some fruit too. It's okay to look at them as a warning sign of what not to do. But it's a problem when you look at them as what to do, and their life and the decisions they made have been poor, and they're basically telling you to try this and do that, and they have no history of doing the right thing for themselves. So what makes you think this information is logical or is in your best interest? Look out for your best interests. You're better equipped to help everybody when your best interest is looked at, because if you're looking out for your best interest, then most likely you're going to be able to help other people because you're going to be in a better position. Now, again, to get out of your situation, if you're in a situation presently that you don't want to be in, you're going to have to take a bold step that is going to be it's going to be lonely. Because whenever you step out and you bet on yourself, you're going to have a lot of people who, you're going to have to leave behind. And some people are going to leave you behind. Because, you're pulling them into deep waters. They don't understand where you're going with it. And it's not for them to understand because this is your journey. This is your task. This is your mission. They're not supposed to understand it. They didn't get the info. You need to be prepared for that. Because again, this is your move you're making. And hopefully you thought through thoroughly, and you made and the things that you thought about the best case, worst case. You thought about every scenario. You thought about what you bring, what you may have to work on in development, what information you might have to gather in order to make the best decision possible or put yourself in the best situation possible. All these things. You got to take these into account before you make your move. But when it comes down to it, you have to bet on yourself. Because the world, the way it's set up, and you can look around, for those people who don't take control of their lives, for those people who don't bet on themselves and do those things that they know they want to do and that they need to do, but they fail to do it for whatever reason, those people suffer greatly in this world. Those people have a hard time navigating through this life because they're waiting to get validation from people who have nothing to do with what you got going on. You don't need a cheering section. You don't need a fan support to move through this life. All you need is your self-confidence, your preparation, and your vision. Again, you don't go through this life just making haphazard decisions and just going with it because you feel like, okay, it's my life and I'm compelled to do whatever I want to do. Have some logic in your steps. Make sense of every step that you make. Step with purpose. Step with intent. Because this will help you in the long run. And like I said, you want to build this confidence. You want it throughout your life. You want to continually build this sense of, how can I say, I know what I'm doing. I feel confident in this. And even if what you do fails, because you will, in this life, failure is a part of it. And that's okay. Because at least when you went out there, you thought about, hey, what's the best thing I can do for myself? How can I make this work? What do I need to bring? You're talking about dealing with things that you can control that's within you. You can't control what the world does or anything outside of yourself. So your approach may have been solid, but the world pivoted. And at that time you have to recalibrate, fix the things that you need to fix in order to get what you need to get. Things are constantly changing variables. Nothing's straight on. Nothing. It's always something that's going to change. There's going to be a person in your way. There's going to be an event that takes place. Something's going to kind of try to derail you from what you're trying to do. But again, when you bet on yourself, when you have a confidence that you can go through this life, no matter what happens, I'm going to see this thing through. I'm going to push. I'm going to adapt where I need to adapt. I'm going to be strong where I need to be strong. I'll be stern where I need to be stern. I'll allow for revision if the information changes. Then yes, I'm going to go ahead and do something differently. But you bet on yourself. You take control. You take the reins of your life and you decide, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have some say-so in what happens to me in this life. I'm going to have some say-so in terms of how I get old. I'm going to have some say-so in terms of how my money, how I accrue my money, how I earn my money, what my money does for me. I'm going to have some say-so in terms of who's in my social circle. I'm going to have some say-so in terms of my health and my body. I'm going to have some say-so in this. Take control of what you can control and be masterful of it. Hone your craft, hone who you are, become lethal with it. I know who I am. I'm fortified in who I am. And don't allow, like I said, people without you to tell you any different. Because a lot of people out here are miserable by their own design. Because they are fearful of what you're doing. You will be surprised how you will separate yourself from everybody who you've ever known because you chose to enhance yourself. And a lot of people will hold back in terms of what they are or what they can be because they don't want to leave those people behind. Leave those people behind. If they are meant to go with you, those people will be there. But for those people who have nothing positive to bring, nothing positive to say about what you're trying to do, you have to leave them behind. It is painful, but it is necessary in order to make it in this life and achieve the things that you want to achieve, to establish that peace, because I'm the peace guy. I'm all for getting your peace and maintaining your peace and pursuing your peace. When you do those things and you're at peace, the decisions that you have made, you are good with. You are solid with. Because you have thought these things through. And although we are not perfect, we are tasked with trying to make the best decisions that we can be. If you care anything about yourself, the best decisions that you can make, that is what, if you care about yourself, is what you're tasked with. Making the right moves. that's going to put you in a good position. It's going to make you a better person. It's going to give you a more peaceful life. I'm telling you, if you don't have that confidence, you have not worked on yourself. I implore you, please do. Please develop these things, because you will realize the more and more you open your eyes and you see the reality around you, your friends, your families, the people who you work with, the people who you interact with, people who you see in passing, you will see a lot of people have lost that light in their eyes. That a lot of people don't know what they're going to, what's going to happen in terms of their future, and no one knows what's going to happen 20 years from now. But when you bet on yourself and you have prepared yourself, you can anticipate better, because you're like, listen, if I did this, this, and this, most likely this is going to happen. Now, like I said, there's a lot of variables and things along the way. You're going to have to pivot and change. But again, you're betting on yourself. You're saying, hey, you know what? Nothing's promised to us. But I have a confidence, and I'm at ease, I'm at peace, because I know that I'm good in my present, and I'm working on being good in my future. So I'm not fearful, as like some people would, who don't allow themselves to be in control, but they allow other people to be in control. Those people have a less certain future. Or this is going to be waiting for me down the road because such and such promised me. And so you hinge your whole life, you hinge your whole essence in terms of what that person is going to do for you. But then that person fails you. You get to that destination 5, 10 years from now, 15 years, 20 years from now. You get to that final destination, like, okay, this is what you promised me. And then that person reneges. That person decides they don't want to give it to you. Now you wasted all this time where you could have been developing yourself, building on yourself, making yourself fortified and strong, giving yourself that ability to be able to handle anything because you prepare for everything. All that has been lost. And now you're in a position now where you have